This video is about browsing EPrints. If you find yourself in an EPrints repository and want to work out how to find out what else is there of a similar kind, EPrints by default comes with the browse view. Each repository can set up their own different views, so you will see in different repositories you have different options, but by default there's year, subject, division and author. Division is usually the section of the institution that something's been produced in. So obviously if you want to see things that are very recent or very old, browse by year is the obvious first choice. It will tell you how many items are within that category, and then you can click through to see what's there. In this view, the default grouping is by creators, but you can also browse by item type, so whether they're articles or conference papers or books. Or you can have an option where there's no grouping, which is just a straightforward list. Most views have this option, so if you're not seeing what you want, then it's worth trying the no grouping option. Browsing by subject can be really helpful if you know that a collection is going to have several items on the topic of your interest. By default there's Library of Congress subject areas, but lots of repositories use other options. So a subject view on the repository here actually takes RC UK subject areas, and there are lots of other options. It will depend on the subject of the repository. You can browse by division. So if you know, for example, that you want to see things done by a particular part of a university or other institution, then you can browse here. I'm going to show you this in this repository because there's more options. And so here you can see where our repository items have come from, and for example we have a lot from chemistry here. In this case it goes through to a sort by year. Obviously when there's only one item that's a very short list, but you can then see who's who, which is really great if you want to know what a particular research group is doing. Finally, you can browse by author. So if you're looking for the output from a particular individual, you have options to browse for them. So here we've got an example where I've just picked up a particular author. Some repositories create other browse views, so for example in this repository you can browse by the funder of the research, and so you can see what's been produced under particular grants. We've got some research project titles, so you might know that information. In this repository there's only one item type, so it's a very short, it's only one category. You might notice in this that the number of items changes depending on which view you're in. If you look in no grouping, this is the total number of items available, but if you look under grant number it looks like there's more items. This is because some projects in this repository were produced as a result of several grants and therefore they show up twice, so it's nothing to worry about if you're looking at the number of items and thinking you're missing something. No grouping is usually the best way of getting everything. If you want to find something on a particular page, when you browse to it, you can always use your browser's Control F function to search within the page.